It's time for Voice of Indie. Your hosts today are Beem Weeks, author, producer, and marketing monster for independent multimedia publisher Fresh Ink Group, and Stephen Gies, author, producer, composer, and publisher for Fresh Ink Group.
Greetings and good evening. Happy Hump Day. It's another Wednesday episode of the Voice of Indie podcast. This is episode number 169, and I am your host, Beem Weeks, and with me over there in the back room is Mr. Stephen Gies. How you doing tonight, Stephen?
I'm doing great. I'm still reeling from having seen Queen with Adam Lambert in Atlanta the other night, and I'm ready to sing "We Will Rock You" a couple more times, and maybe "We Are the Champions." That was a very cool show. Now, as you know, Beam, we spent a good bit of the past couple of weeks dealing with the fact that Ingram, like all major distributors in the United States, have now set a minimum floor of 40% discount on wholesale books. And that meant that we have had to update not only the discount percentage, but the retail price on several hundred titles.
Yeah.
And we got all the paperwork and all the input and data and everything done today. We just got to get it submitted, and these things should go into effect in the next few days. And all of you members of Fresh Ink Group, whose books we've published, will get an email here in the next couple of days informing you of that, talking about what's going on. So watch for that. And other than that, are you recovering from all that work, Beam?
I am recovering. It was a lengthy undertaking spent between the two of us this afternoon, and once I got done with that, I got away from my computer for a while and just sat in the living room and chilled out in front of the TV. I
got flat on the couch for about 45 minutes, so that was pretty nice. But I want to give a shout-out to some of our new subscribers, Michael Filippello, children's book author, Judy White Arts, who's got a book that we're getting ready to publish in the next couple of weeks, and Bradford Wright Green down here in Hoover, Alabama. Welcome to the show, everybody. We've got a new book out called Village Boss by Ronan Duvall. It's a crime thriller, an international spy crime thriller with a character who winds up traveling the world and getting into some deep stuff. That's a cool book. It's not entirely populated on all the websites. Have you looked at Amazon in the last few hours, Beam, to see if the print have popped up yet?
I have not. I will check when we are done here and see if it made it there. It is available in Kindle on Amazon. Just the physical copies aren't showing up there, but they are showing up at Barnes & Noble and other retail outlets. So we'll see.
Yep. That seems to be the trend. Used to be they showed up on Amazon first. Now we're lucky if we can get them to show up on Amazon within a week or two. But, hey, that's Village Boss by Ronan Duvall. Check it out.
Yeah, and another release, The Gift, Harbor Point Series Book 2 by Gwen M. Plano is out now. This is part of an 8-book series from the ladies at Story Empire, and there are more books to come. So get over to Amazon or where, I guess it would be Amazon, and grab your copy of The Gift, Harbor Point Series Book 2 by Gwen M. Plano.
Yeah, and speaking of author Gwen M. Plano, we've got another new novel from her. We're going to have that out sometime in the next couple of weeks in time for the Christmas season, The Soul Whisperer's Decision. Gwen writes great thrillers. She always has a beautiful spiritual element to them. We're real excited about this book, too. So, hey, Gwen keeps bringing us a book a week. We'll just keep putting them out there. Thanks, Gwen.
Yeah.
Now, we've also got another new one. This one's going to be by Judy White Arts, and we're looking to have this one out by Thanksgiving easily as well, and it's called The Essence of Spiritual Awakening. Enlightenment, Inspiration, and Insights that Illuminate the Path to Divinely Guided Wisdom by Judy White Arts. Watch for that as well.
Watch for that. All right. Over on Twitter, Verwayne Greenho, he's got a newish Vela romance story. Love Through the Ages, the love story of a couple married almost 3 years. The husband reveals their life to a 17-year-old CNA caring for his wife as she lies on her deathbed. This is available through Vela right now. So if you wanted the link for that Vela over on Amazon, just go to Twitter, X as they call it now. Go to X and type, use the hashtag Fresh Ink Group and click on latest. And right there at the top, you will find 2 Verwayne tweets right now. And scroll down till you find the one about Love Through the Ages, and click on that link, and it'll take you right to Vela, and you can check it out. You can read the first 3 episodes for free, and if you like it, after that, you can buy some tokens and read the rest of it. So get over there and check that out. And if you want to be, Verwayne just did this on X, Twitter. And if you want to do that on Twitter, or you want to call in and be part of tonight's show, if you've got questions or comments for tonight's guest, here's how you can do that.
Call 516-453-9902 right now with your questions or comments for tonight's guest. Or post a note on Twitter with hashtag Fresh Ink Group in the body of the tweet, and we'll read it on air. That's 516-453-9902 or hashtag Fresh Ink Group on Twitter.
All right. We've got a couple more new books that have just come out in the past couple of weeks. Get out there and look for Mermaid Cove. This is a coffee table-sized book, a collection of multimedia, mixed media art of mermaids, scenes featuring mermaids that were painted over the last quarter century for the posters for the Yachty Gras, which is a Mardi Gras parade, but with yachts down there in the Gulf of Mexico. And that's by M.C. Howard, who's also Maureen Howard, who wrote the Diane series that we've been publishing lately. Go check that out, too. Mermaid Cove. Cool mermaid art, and each is accompanied by a poem.
All right. Also out right now by Dave Hooker from Off the Hook Sports, Celebrate 98. This is a book loaded with pictures and just great discussions about the 1998 National Championship Tennessee Volunteers college football team, and this is available now. Just a really cool book. Like I said, it's got a lot of pictures in it, and it's got interesting behind-the-scenes things that took place as the team took on a new quarterback after the great Peyton Manning left and surprised everybody and became national champions. So get over there and check that out. Celebrate 98 by Dave Hooker. We have a newsletter, and
we do.
And if you want to know about what's going on in the world of indie authors and Fresh Ink Group stuff and this podcast, you got to be subscribed to it. And if you're not, why not? And here's how you can remedy that.
Stay on top of these podcasts and all things Fresh Ink Group with our weekly digital newsletter, new releases, videos, stories, excerpts, interviews, and more. Sign up now on the homepage of FreshInkGroup.com and be the one who knows what's what.
What?
Hey, let's look at what's happening in the top 25 print bestsellers at Fresh Ink Group. This is the print. I don't have the numbers in front of me for all the various 212 ebook formats that we publish all around the world, but for print, hardcover, softcover, we've got the number 25 bestseller slot this week, Operation Ivy Bells, a Mac McDowell mission by Robert G. Williscroft. That's the first of 4 in the Mac McDowell mission series. These are Cold War submarine thrillers. They're very cool. Mac McDowell's a character you're all going to like. We've got The Adventures of Ali Orangutan by Larry Landgraf, the paperback edition. This is an illustrated chapter book for children about an orangutan that escapes from the train that's shipping him to a zoo and goes on an adventure. Of that, The Diang, book 1 of the Diang trilogy by M.C. Howard, the paperback edition. That's the first of 3 in the trilogy, and we've got the first one out. We're working on number 2 and 3. Another Larry Landgraf book. This is Into Autumn, a story of survival. That's the first of 4 dystopian futuristic stories. Government breaks down, communities have to form groups to survive. Into Autumn by Larry Landgraf. Above that, we've got The Chair, Volume 3 by Robert McKenzie, and Volume 3 follows Volume 2. I'll bet you can't guess what's before that. Volume 1. Right now, Volume 3, and we're working on Volume 4, but Volume 3 is in our top 25 print bestsellers. Also in that group, Still Not Enough, Minority Millennials in the Workforce by Janelle A. Jordan, DBA. That's a good hard look at what's going on with the workforce and minority millennials in the U.S. Above that, the Parents Edition of How to Teach Driving by Kenneth Lindquist. That's one of 2 books that we put out by him. The other is the Instructors Edition for people who want to get certified for teaching driver's ed. This is for parents who love their children. And you parents out there, if you love your children and they're getting into the driving age, you're going to want this book by Kenneth Lindquist. Above that, B.A. Johnson, Sassy Uncovers Peter Allen's Secret. That's the second in her Sassy series. These are illustrated chapter books for children, and they're basically designed to help them learn about their AME church. Above that, the hardcover edition of the Diane. What do you think of that, Beem? The hardcover's outselling the softcover in a novel. And we were told, don't even bother to put those hardcovers out. People don't buy novels in hardcovers, and yet here they are. Okay, David Carroll, I Won't Be Your Scapegoat. David Carroll's Homemade Social Media Blunders. What do you think of that book, Beem?
That's hilarious. We laughed and laughed and laughed when we were going through that one, so you will too. I guarantee it. There's some funny stuff in there.
Yeah, and this is the hardcover edition that's selling so well. Above that, A.K. Wingler's How to Start and Run Your Own Food Truck Business in Georgia. That's one of 3 books we put out by her on how to start a food truck business. The first 3 are in the southeast of the U.S. We're looking to expand across the nation. Now, here's a fun one to keep popping up. We published this book, 7, 8, 40 years ago, something like that. The Rise and Fall of a Construction Giant. The History, People, and Stories of CFW Construction by Dick Farrer, Jr. Dick's father and a friend started a construction company in Fayetteville, Tennessee, a long time ago, and that thing grew into a monster, covered 7 states, had jobs in various countries around the world, got big, and then things got kind of weird. The company plane crashed, executives were killed, they got caught up in a bid rigging scandal, and eventually the company crashed down. And Dick Farrer tells the story, the whole story. He documents it. He's got the pictures and the documents and the behind-the-scenes stuff. And basically, I thought this would be just kind of a small regional book of interest in people in South Tennessee, but, man, this thing's still going strong 7, 8 years after we published it. Here's another Robert G. Willis Croft, Operation Icebreaker, a Mac McDowell mission. So that's 2 of the 4 Mac McDowells so far. They seem to be doing real well. The next 2 in a row, hardcover and then paperback, Shipwrecked and Rescued, The City of Bangor by retired journalist and historian Larry Jorgensen. This is the story of 240 Chryslers being shipped to Canada across Lake Superior in the 1920s. They never made it there. And the crew had to be rescued during a storm, and there was that boat out there trapped with all those cars on it. And Walter P. Chrysler himself wanted those cars back, so he sent people to see if they could get them. Did they? Check this book out. It's got all the pictures, the stories, the interviews. It's a very cool behind-the-scenes look at what happened. Now, this is somebody nobody's ever heard of. Mark Herndon, the drummer for the super group Alabama, Country Music Hall of Fame drummer Mark Herndon. We published his memoir, The High Road, Memories from a Long Trip, in 2016. And that thing is still rocking and rolling and singing country and pounding those beats at you. That's The High Road, Memories from a Long Trip, where Mark tells the true story behind the scenes of being a star who travels the world and performs for sold-out arenas, but also has some behind-the-scenes strife and friction and things that eventually make things kind of fall apart. He takes the high road, but he tells the whole story, truth and all, and takes responsibility. That's a great book. Everybody enjoys that book, The High Road by Mark Herndon. Now, I mentioned Sassy. This is Sassy Discovers the AME Church, the first book in B.A. Johnson's illustrated chapter book series. Here's Mermaid Cove. Memes, Oracles, and Mermaid Art is now making an appearance on our list for the first time, the paperback edition, and the next slot above it is the hardcover edition. So, Mermaid Cove is starting to heat up. Now, this gets us to the top 6. What's going on in the top 6 here? We've got American Agony, The Opioid War Against Patients in Pain by Dr. Helen Burrell. That's a look at the politics behind what's going on with enforcing opioids and trying to reduce opioid addiction and targeting doctors, sometimes even putting doctors in prison for writing prescriptions for opioids. Now, top 5. Celebrate 98. The Untold Stories Behind the Tennessee Football Vols' 1998 National Championship has 2 of these 5 slots, Beem. Number 5 is the hardcover edition. Number 2 is the paperback edition. We're in football season right now, and
yes,
I'm telling
we are.
you, it looked like Tennessee might beat Alabama there for a little while last Saturday. So, I mean, you Tennessee fans, you got to be getting yourself worked up here. Get this book and get a couple of copies and give them to your other Tennessee Vols fans, too. So, what's left in this top 5? In the number 4 slot, Meet William Shakespeare, a superbly entertaining one-person play starring the Bard himself by J. Ash Looney. Now, this is a short book. It's a play. You can read it like a story, or you can actually perform it as a play. And This book was published 7-8 years ago, something like that, but it's been surging for the last 3 weeks because J. Edge Looney attended a Renaissance fair and did some serious promoting there, and it's still rocking and rolling and selling copies. So he just needed to get out there and spread the word some more. So what's left? Number 3 slot, A.K. Wingler's How to Start and Run Your Own Food Truck Business in Florida. Florida seems to be the more popular of the 3 states. You thinking about starting a food truck business? Check this book out. Everything you need to know. Suggested floor plans, how to get the licenses, all the clearances, health department requirements, and they are specific to the state in the title of the book. Now, what's in the number 1 slot? It's a paperback book, and it's by NBC newscaster in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, David Carroll. I Won't Be Your Scapegoat. David Carroll's Homemade Social Media Blunders is our number 1 bestseller this week, Beem. We're proud of David. He's got several other books out, and this one is also taking off. So congratulations, David. Congratulations, everybody who made our top 25 this week.
All right, fantastic. I am currently hard at work on the Young Knights audiobook by Cheryl Carpinello. This one's taking a little longer than usual. She just got me some more notes for sound effects and whatnot, so I'll be adding those to what I've got going right now. And the young man that was the vocal talent on this project is Ethan Drew, and he just had a movie come out, so he's been busy with the press junket and all that. So I need him back home so he can do some rereads on a couple of clubbed lines. But once those are fixed and done and in there, some of the behind-the-scene production stuff there, we will have that out. So hopefully that'll be out before too long, and just get signed up for the newsletter, and you'll find out when that'll be out. So, and keep listening to this. If you've listened to this show and you've got a favorite episode, you want to hear it again, or you've never listened to the show before but you want to see what we're all about, we've got an archive. And every episode we've done is in this archive, so here's how you can find out where we are at.
Find your favorite show in the Voice of Indie archives on YouTube at Fresh Ink Group, StephenGees.com, BeamWeeks.com, FreshInkGroup.com, and on Spotify. And now, you can listen on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and TuneIn. Just search The Voice of Indie, all one word.
Dave Hooker here, longtime Tennessee sports writer, and I know that true Tennessee fans are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the legendary 1998 Tennessee Volunteers championship season. Tell you what, in Celebrate 98, I try to bring the full color photos and detail the transfer of power from Peyton Manning to Al Wilson, the preparation to win the first BCS national championship, the locker room dynamics, and the challenges of a team rising above deep tragedy. Key plays include interception, a fumble maybe against Arkansas, and a bit of trickeration. Also, there's that Florida game. I analyze the leadership, the strategies, and the players' commitment to each other, and share what we are still learning from this team even today. Discover what happened to those heroes of the gridiron and where they are now. Proudly published by the Fresh Ink Group, Celebrate 98 is available in all the digital forms, but you can also get your own softcover or jacketed hardcover keepsake edition from booksellers worldwide. Want an autographed edition? Go to offthehooksports.com. That's offthehooksports.com, and I'll personalize it for you. Celebrate 98 is a collector's item and a cherished gift that belongs to all fans of college football and the Tennessee Volunteers.
All right.
Okay, let's meet this week's guest. It's Zaida Alfaro. The Miami Music Mystery Series main drop, the amazing city of Miami, Florida, is beloved and well known to her. She was born and raised in Miami, and like the novel's main character Vi, she's a singer-songwriter, Grammy-considered, independent artist. All things relating to music or literature are her passion. Many years ago, she became an avid reader of cozy mysteries. The storylines were intriguing, engaging, and funny at the same time. She was so inspired by the authors that she decided to take her musical experiences and put them on paper. She published her first novel, The Last Note, a Miami music mystery, And now she's brought her characters back to life in the sequel, In the Key of Dead, a Miami music let me say that 5 times fast. In the Key of Dead, a Miami music mystery. The phobias, the dream sequences, and the quirkiness of the main characters are all based on facts. She hopes that she was able to once again show the readers of her novels the love she has for Miami, the Cuban culture, her family, and music. Now that's about Zaida Alfaro, the author. What about Zaida the singer, Beem?
Zaida the singer was born into art. Her mother is an amazing artist, composer, and musician. I remember sitting on the couch watching my mom's fingers move graciously throughout the piano keys. It was mesmerizing for me. Zaida learned how to play the piano from her mother when she was 12 years old. From then on, my love for music began, but not for the piano. My love was simply listening to music. Inspired by musicians like Rob Thomas, Pink, and Jewel, Zaida is a storyteller in her songwriting. Zaida had a few lessons on her first used and worn-out classical guitar and started combining her own original poetry with some of the basic guitar melodies. That was the result of Zaida's debut album, Train Ride. As an independent artist, Zaida released an EP called Little Box of Secrets. Zaida's latest self-produced singles, Savannah and Bulletproof Queen, which we will be hearing tonight, takes one on a journey from one extreme to the other. Savannah is a song about love and loss, while Bulletproof Queen is an empowering rock song showcasing her expressive vocal delivery as well as her storytelling. While listening to Zaida's songs, the listener becomes a traveler. Although the journey has been challenging, I am not ready to stop showing people the world through my eyes. My lyrics portray the different journeys my life has taken me through. Heartache, hardships, falling in love, and happiness. I want people to feel what I felt, to see what I have seen, and to know what I have learned. I want music to be the window to my soul for the world to peek in. It is more than just listening to songs. It is breathing in the words. Welcome to the Voice of Indie podcast, Zaida.
Zaida.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So we've got some callers waiting on hold that we're going to get to quickly here. First, tell us, you're in Miami right now. You're still living there, and that's where you're calling from?
I'm still in Miami, born and raised. I don't think I will ever leave Miami.
Oh, that's cool. So where in Miami are you? Are you down by the beach, out in the Cuban areas?
No, I'm in a little area called South Miami. It's probably maybe 40 minutes from South Beach, if it gives people a base of where to start. So
yeah, that's a cool area with lots of food. Man, that's a great place to go if you want to eat. South Miami, I could just live there. I could see why you don't want to leave. So, Beem, we've got some callers. You want to see what people have to say?
Yeah, we do. We have a bunch of callers now. When the callers call into this studio, I just see the phone number, and I'm not going to read your phone numbers out, but please listen for the last 4 digits of your phone number, because that's what I'm going to. I can't say Southeast Florida, because there's a few of them here from Southeast Florida. So we're going to go to the last 4 digits of the phone number are 2314. 2314. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Linda. I'm calling from Palm City, Florida.
Well,
hi, Linda.
To the show, Linda.
Hi. I actually wanted to call in and just ask a question. I'm curious. There's a lot of really cool characters in both of the books. How do you develop a character? Like, where does your inspiration for the character come from?
So first and foremost, thank you for reading both of my books.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. My characters are pretty much based on the people that are in my life right now. There's probably a handful of characters in both books that I just created out of thin air, but the majority of the characters are people that I know. So in the first book, The Last Note, 90% of the characters were based off of people that were in my life, and luckily I was able to bring back really popular characters in the second book, and I wrote in probably 4 more that are people that I also know. So it's I'm surrounded. My characters are people that I'm surrounded by. So.
Awesome.
That's cool
Thank
until
you.
they want
Hopefully
royalties.
none of them are real murderers.
Not that I know of, but but yes, no.
Thank you.
Thank
Is that
you
it?
for calling.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Linda.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the next call, the last four digits of the phone number are 7965. So 7965, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm calling from Phoenix.
Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the
gosh.
show.
Hi. I have a question. I read Zaida's book, and I just think it's wonderful. But I didn't realize how long you've been singing. And how long have you been actually singing and doing music?
Hi, Kelly. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. I've been singing probably since the moment I could start speaking. My mom, when we were really, really young, always threw parties, and for some reason my older sister and I were the entertainment at the end of the night. So probably starting at like age 7, I was always singing. And I believe when I got into my teen years, I was, 17 when I got recognized, I guess you could say, to actually do it professionally. I went into it professionally between 17 and 18 years old. So, but I've been singing for a very long time.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, thank you, and I can't wait to read your new book. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now, this next caller should be easier to identify. This is calling from, I believe, the Chicago area. Last four digits are 0545. Hello, Chicago area. You're on the air. What's your name?
Hi, this is Anthony. I had a question for Zaida. I loved your first book. I have to read the second one, but what was the greatest difficulty you encountered in writing your latest book? Like, how would you, if you had writer's block, how were you able to push through and finish your book?
First of all, thank you for calling, and that's an amazing question. The most difficult thing for me about writing the book is the dialogue itself. And when I do have writer's block, I actually I have to step away from I guess, my mind, because I kind of overthink the writing. So I just kind of, like, I'll take a break for a week. I'll listen to music. I'll play music. Actually go to my mom's house and play dominoes, and just kind of distract myself and disconnect. And then I'll come back to it, with a clear mind, and I'll continue, with the dialogue, which is primarily the one thing that always stumps me.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and good luck to you.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks for calling, Anthony.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Okay, we are going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and take another call.
I'm David Carroll, and I'm proud of my recent books, Chattanooga Radio and Television, Volunteer Bama Dog, and Hello Chattanooga, famous people who have visited the Tennessee Valley. Like many folks, I spend too much time on social media, but I put that time to good use. For years, I've been collecting social media misspellings, misinterpretations, and other mishaps, from tweets, text messages, even the signs you see at stores and on the highways. I've collected the funniest foul-ups in my latest book, I Won't Be Your Scapegoat, David Carroll's homemade social media blunders. I top them off with my own snarky comments, and they're illustrated by a talented artist, my friend Mike Salter. There are a lot of laugh-out-loud moments in the book, more than 400 of them. We all make mistakes, and sure, you can blame it on spell check, but maybe, just maybe, we didn't pay enough attention in English class. Either way, this book will bring a smile to your face or to the face of someone you love. We can all agree what the world needs now is laughter, and lots of it. I Won't Be Your Scapegoat, proudly published by Fresh Ink Group in softcover, jacketed hardcover, and all ebook formats.
All right, so we are on with author, singer, songwriter, Zaida Alfaro. So you guys still have a chance to call in. So we are going to go back to the phone lines here. I'm going to take this one right here because I know who this one is. This is Dr. Helen Burrell. So we're going to take Dr. Helen Burrell. Hello, Dr. Helen.
Hi, I left a question there.
Yeah.
At Fresh Ink Group, I left a question.
Great.
Okay,
So why don't you ask it on the air?
Yeah.
Well, years ago, when I was deciding which to be, I wanted to paint and write. I finally decided the best thing to do was concentrate on one, writing. What I want to know is, how does this talented lady do both?
Yeah, how do you balance
Thank
that?
you for calling in.
I don't know how
That's a great question. Well, luckily, my mysteries also have to do with music, so I'm able to write what I know, and that would be music. I did have to take a break from performing this last year, only because I needed to finish the second book and focus on it. So yeah, it was a little bit difficult to do both at the same time, but I took a second and I focused on the book primarily, but I do still do both at the same time. I can't help it.
Well, that takes a lot of talent to do both.
Yeah.
So I congratulate you.
I appreciate that. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I look forward to reading a book, one of your current books.
Yeah, thanks, Helen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Helen.
Okay.
All right. Now, Zaida, you said that you've been singing since age 7. You know, that's quite a long time ago. At what
Hundreds
age?
of years.
Yeah.
Well, that's a young age, I should say, not a long time ago. But at what age did you first start writing your book?
Or stories, or poems, or anything you do.
Yeah, I mean, did you start with short stories or poems or whatever? When did you start writing?
I started as well in a very young age. I would always write my mom or my sister's like poems, really simple poems. It started with just poems. I had a diary that I would just write scattered thoughts in. And finally, when I started college, I was kind of, I guess, discovered. So I remember getting my diary, and I just pretty much made those poems into my songs. So, but I have been writing since a very young age.
All right.
Oh, cool. What about education? Once you got a little bit older and started having options for going to school and learning about these things, did you ever have any formal education in music or take writing classes or anything like that to develop your talents and interests?
Well, I'm an English major in college. So, yes. So in high school, I did do chorus, and then I graduated. At first, I was the education major, and after interning for a while at a school, decided that teaching was not my thing. So I switched, and I became an English major. But I did have vocal classes once I started recording the first CD or record, train ride. I did have vocal classes, and I had to learn how to use my diaphragm, and I did train professionally on that. But as far as the writing an actual book is concerned, I didn't have, I guess, training for that. I just kind of, I winged it.
That works.
All right. Yeah. Okay, we are on with double threat singer and author Zaida Alfaro. So we're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to go back to the phone lines. The callers are showing up in force tonight, so that's always a good sign.
Wow. I love it.
Submariner, 30 Years of Hijinks and Keeping the Fleet Afloat. Jerry Pate's semi-autobiographical collection of 60 stories recounts his 30 years in and around the U.S. Navy submarine fleet, ranging from lighthearted to wrenching. All are poignant inside looks at naval operations rarely seen by outsiders. Topics include the real story behind the shuttle Challenger tragedy, risking his own life underwater, discovering a Soviet spy living across the street, surviving when an engine ignites, critical missions, and the everyday lives of men and women of the fleet. Compiled by author Robert G. Williscroft and proudly published by Fresh Ink Group. Submariner is available worldwide in hardcover, softcover, and all ebook formats. Dive into Submariner for hijinks and breathtaking adventure with this poignant memoir by a true American hero.
All right, we are on with Zaida Alfaro. And if you want to call in, we got callers lined up. If you want to call in with a question or a comment for tonight's guest, 516-453-9902. That's 516-453-9902. And we are going to go to a caller. The last four digits of this caller's phone number are 0402. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
Hi, my name's John, and I'm from Sebring, Florida.
Welcome to the show, John.
Hey. It was a pleasure. This by both of your books. I wanted to know if you've learned anything about yourself, either personally or professionally, as now you've completed two books. Is there something that you've learned about yourself that you could share with us?
Hi, John. Thank you so much for calling in. I learned to become a better writer with the second book. The first book, it took me a while because I had never written a book before. It was my first go around an actual cozy mystery, which at that time I didn't even know that the cozy mystery genre existed. So I kind of had to learn how to write that type of genre. So when the second book came around, I kind of wrote a little quicker. I flowed a lot nicer, and I felt more comfortable with myself and my writing. So I guess I learned to become a better writer the second time around.
Great. That's awesome. Well, we look forward to any future books that you have coming. I don't know if there is any, but we look forward to them, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for calling, John.
Yeah, thanks for calling, John. Listeners, there's still time to call in, 516-453-9902, and you can get in here with your questions and comments. Now, Zaida, you talked about in your bio that your mother played piano and you learned a little piano from her. Tell us a little bit about your family. Are you married? Do you have kids? Are there musicians in your family now? Is it
I come
carrying
from
on?
Cuban background. I come from a Cuban background. My parents are both Cuban. My mom is an amazing musician overall. She plays the piano, she writes, she composes. She used to sing back in her day as well. So I get that talent from my mom, definitely. My sister, my older sister as well, is also a singer. She performed her whole life. I remember just going to her shows and watching her practice dancing and singing, and I was just completely enamored by her and her world. I'd never imagined that I would be there as well as an adult. So my family is pretty talented. My brother is an artist as well. He paints. So we all get this from my mother. So I live in Miami. Yes, I'm married. I have a cat that I actually write about in my books. So I'm telling you, everyone I know makes it into my books one way or the other.
Oh, podcast hosts in the next book.
Watch out. I may kill you if this podcast doesn't turn out well.
We would be honored. We would be honored,
yes. All right. Well, how about we play one of your songs?
Ooh.
Let's do Bulletproof Queen. I listened to this earlier. You've got a nice rock sound to it. All right. This is Bulletproof.
Fun fact, that was a Grammy-considered song.
Oh.
Really?
Cool.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Bulletproof Queen by Zaida Alfaro.
Since 1999, I've always been a bulletproof queen with a Teflon heart. Don't get me wrong, I've been taking it, chewed up and then pulled apart.
Zaida, who are we hearing there? Do you use session players? You have a backup band? Tell us what we're hearing.
I actually used my friends who are musicians to record this song. So I pretty much just recorded the bass guitar, just not the bass guitar, the acoustic guitar, the chord progressions. I emailed them all with the track, and I said, okay, we gotta put this song together. So everyone sent me their ideas via recording, and finally we made it to the studio and we put it all together, and we recorded it for the first time together in the studio. So it was a really cool experience. It was the first song that I produced. It was the first song that I was like behind the board, making the decisions that I wanted. My older sister actually recorded the background vocals for my song, which for me was surreal, considering the fact that I'm her biggest fan since I was a little girl. So it was really cool to see her recording my songs and the background vocals. So yeah, that was a really fun recording to do.
Oh, you want to shout out a couple of names? Give some credit.
I definitely want to give a shout out to Manny. Manny was the lead guitarist and the guitarist for the entire song. He did amazing leads. He did amazing rhythm. So I want to give him a shout out for that. And Steve was a drummer. Bart was on the keys. And Lalo is actually he mixed the song. We recorded in his studio. So I had just an amazing group of guys behind me. So wow. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, I like that crunchy guitar sound. I'm a metalhead myself, so that crunchy guitar sound, that's what pulls me in. Now, your debut album, Train Ride, did I read that correctly? This was you did this album in 2000?
Yes.
So
I did.
That's 23 years ago, which means in 2 years you'll be eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow, there you go.
I sure hope so. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to submit my papers, so we'll see.
You can join Dolly and Willie.
Yeah, join Dolly and Willie.
I would love that.
Tell us a little bit about the album and the process to making this album. You know, how it differed from, say, your most recent stuff.
Yeah, Train Ride was my first record. I was signed to an independent label, and I was very young, so I had pretty much no say in any of the songs that were recorded. Again, I used my all my poems that I had for the actual songs. All the songs are I wrote them. But as far as the music was involved, they hired studio musicians. I really knew nothing about the industry at the time, so I was very naive and just pretty much trusted the independent label at that time. So we did go on tour, and we tried to get out there with the first record, and that was quite an experience. At that time, I was not familiar or comfortable enough to perform live, so that did give me the experience to go out there and perform live and get comfortable with crowds, and so I grew up in that aspect, which is great. But I also grew up in the aspect that I had to learn not to trust people in the music industry, because if you're naive, you're pretty much gonna be taken advantage of. So unfortunately, that happened. But I see it that it was a good lesson to learn, and I grew as an artist. So then I was able to, when I did the EP record, that was all me. So it felt good to know, like, okay, now I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, here at Voice of Indie, we like to hear people talk about going independent and doing things their own way. And that EP, Little Box of Secrets, was that soon after Train Ride? Was there a little bit of a gap in there? And then tell us about that EP. What's on it? What's it like?
There was a gap only because, when you trust a group of people and then you realize that you shouldn't have, your soul kind of just loses hope, at least me. I'm a very emotional person, so it got to me. So I kind of shut down emotionally for a while and thought to myself, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't the career I should choose. But luckily I have such a supporting family that my mother especially was just like, you are not giving up. I mean, this is what you do. This is what you love doing. Why are you going to let someone, take that dream away from you? It's one person. So she kind of pushed me and motivated me to actually open up my journal again and start writing, and she inspired me to pick up my guitar once again and just started writing. So it took a while. I was very discouraged. So to build that up again, it took a while because I have to believe in myself. I can have so many people believing in me, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to believe in myself. And luckily I got to that. And I released the EP, The Little Box of Secrets, which was a lot of fun to record, and it was a lot more. It was laid back, and I had more say in this EP.
Wow, go Mom! So we can all thank Mom for keeping Zaida on track on this one.
Yeah. Now you're the latest singles that you've self-produced. We just heard "Bulletproof Queen." We're going to play Savannah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this song?
Oh, Savannah is such a cool experience of writing it. It was during the pandemic, so obviously we couldn't go out to see live music. I wasn't gigging. Everything was on hold. You know how it was. So all these performers were doing these videos on live feed, either Facebook or Instagram, from everywhere. So literally I would watch concerts at home on the phone. But at one time, I've always wanted to write a song with a name, titled. I don't know. It's just it all started because of the Lumineers. The Lumineers wrote a song called Ophelia. So I was like, you know what? I want to write a song that has a name in it. So one night I'm watching this guy. He's playing in the back of his yard, and all of a sudden he stops mid-song. He starts going, Savannah, Savannah. And he's calling his 4-year-old daughter over to him. And I was like, oh, my God, that's a perfect name for a song. So I honestly closed out, and I picked up my guitar, and I started writing Savannah. And I honestly, I think I wrote that song in about 10 minutes. And I recorded it at home. I, again, sent whatever I recorded to my musician friends, and I had them send back over their recorded drums or the keys or the guitars, and I produced it at home. I learned how to use this program I've never used, and that was actually the first song I produced at home by myself, and it was really cool to be able to do that and to really be behind the scenes of that song.
Savannah.
All right. Savannah. So I've got a niece named Savannah. All right. So we're gonna play Savannah, and then we're gonna run through an ad, and then we're going to jump into some talk about your books. This is Savannah by Zaida Alfaro.
Said you wanted to go see Savannah, then you walked out the door. And that was the last time I saw your face. I can't help wonder, I can't escape. Something had changed between us, and I watched those words leave your lips. And that was the last time I heard heard your voice. Now I can't think with all this noise.
We're talking to Zaida Alfaro. She's a Renaissance woman because she's a musician, singer, composer, and she's an author as well who's out there publishing very cool stories. Now, I've got a million questions about your stories. Before we segue into that, I do want to know, how can people find this music? Can they buy it, download it, listen to it? Where can you find your audience out there?
They can buy it. They can download it. I am pretty much everywhere you buy streaming music. So Apple, Amazon, wherever you get it, Spotify, or my website as well. So it's under my name, Zaida, or you can go to my website, zaidamusic.com. But I am everywhere.
We love it. Indie artists achieving everywhereness. That's a very cool thing. Yeah, now these books, your two novels, The Last Note and its sequel, In the Key of Dead, are both subtitled A Miami Music Mystery. What's a music mystery? How does that fit into it? And what are these books about?
The Last Note, my very first book I wrote a few years ago. I became an avid reader of cozy mysteries many moons ago, and I started with an author called Joanne Fluke, and she wrote cozy mysteries. I, at the time, didn't know that genre actually existed. So I realized I loved that genre. I loved reading her books, and she had probably like 30 books in her series. And one day, my sister had mentioned to me, she's like, you read so many of these books, why don't you, try writing one? And at that time, cozy mysteries dealt with something, whether it was baking or a psychic eye mystery or knitting or some sort of, it had to do with something. So I was like, okay, I'll accept her challenge. So I decided to write The Last Note and make it a Miami music mystery, because it seems that there weren't any series out there that had to deal with music. So I went ahead and I tried it. And The Last Note happened. So it was it was not an easy task to do it. Like I said, it took me a while, only because I wasn't familiar with the writing style. The dialogue is a really difficult thing for me for some reason. It is nothing. I realized as I started writing the first book, I was like, this is nothing like writing a song, because a song only lasts like 3 minutes. So I have to write something that's 70,000 words. But I was able to accomplish it. So that's where the Miami music mystery comes in. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, as somebody who also both composes music and writes books, I'm always struck by the difference between meter. With writing, you can take your time, you can pause, you can take a break, you can keep working on that sentence. But when you're composing music and you're trying to get in that rhythm, into that groove, you got to be on time. Things have to be at the right place at the right times, and it's just a whole different creative experience. And I love that juxtaposition. You've got to love that too. I mean, sometimes I assume you feel like doing one, sometimes you feel like doing the other, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So, Zaida, how do you publish? Do you use a standard publisher? Do you use a hybrid? Do you self-publish?
I was lucky enough to, after probably 100 rejections, a publishing house called Cozy Cat Press actually said yes to the last note. And she opened the door, and she really gave me a chance to. She was actually the first person as far as the publishing house to tell me, this is what you have to fix, and then we'll consider publishing your novel. So, and that's what I wanted. I wanted someone to tell me, this is wrong, and so I could fix it. A lot of times I was just turned down, like, so sorry, this is not for us, and I always wanted to know why, because then I could, fix my problem. So she was actually the first one that said, well, do this, this, and this, and then we'll consider it. And I did. I mean, I made, I don't know, probably, you guys are writers, so I probably made like 5,000 changes to the script before, like, submitting it to her again. And once I submitted the final copy, she was like, okay, you're part of our family. So she's more of a smaller publishing house, but she's amazing, and I'm very lucky to be signed to her publishing company.
She turned out to be right, didn't she? And in the process, you learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks to her, I did learn a lot. So.
Oh, cool. So when you're
sometimes those second and third drafts are the polishing that's needed.
That's when they sing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So during the writing process, do you ever involve other people? Do you use beta readers? Do you have an editor look at your kind of stuff before you send it off to your publisher? And what about those gorgeous covers? Do you have some involvement in that, or is that something your publisher puts together for you?
So I do have an editor, and true story is I met my editor at one of my gigs many, many, many years ago. And he was at a show with his wife, and we started talking about my book that was going to come out. And he's like, well, you know what? I'll edit it for you if you like, and I'll even give you a discount, and I won't, So I was like, really? This is awesome. So he's actually the editor for the second book as well. We've remained friends, and he's really good at what he does. So I definitely have it edited before I send it over to the publisher. But yes, the publisher is the one that created both of the amazing book covers for The Last Note and In the Key of Dead. She has an amazing graphic artist over there. So I'm really happy. And the great thing is that she'll send me. She actually asks for my opinion, and she'll send me many proofs of different versions, and then we'll go from there. So she actually lets me be part of the process, which is fun for me. So, but she's the one that designed the covers for both of them.
You want to give some shout outs to their names too, your editor and your cover designer?
Yes, well, Cozy Cat Press, and her name is Patricia Rockwell. She is my angel of publishers.
And your editor?
My editor is Glenn McCormick.
Cool.
Amazing pen pal as well.
Cool. Now, your marketing, how do you market your books? And this is going to be a 2 or 3 part question. How do you market your books? do you do live music to promote your music, and do you ever do cross promotions where you're doing a gig and you got the books out there as well as the music?
So I actually am the one that markets both my books. I'm kind of on my own in that aspect. I've done a lot of research, and when it comes to that, I'm more independent myself, although I am seeking for help recently because I'm sure that I'm missing a lot of I don't know, great things that I can probably do that I'm not aware of because I'm not a publicist and I'm not a part of this literary world in that aspect when it comes to marketing. But right now I'm the one that does all the marketing. For the book signing events, sometimes I will end the event playing a couple of my original songs, which is also a lot of fun.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had a book launch on this past Saturday at Books and Books in Coral Gables, and I actually ended up playing like 4 songs before I started signing the books, and that was a lot of fun. I do originals, and then I make sure that I do a cover because I love audience participation. I love when people sing along with me. I think that music is the one thing that always brings people together. It doesn't matter, and I've experienced that. I've noticed that every time I have a show, and I'm singing a song, people who didn't even know each other will be singing with each other or hugging each other, dancing along with each other, and that always makes me happy because music brings some sort of like unspoken peace among people. And for those 4 hours, if I could give that peace to people that are listening to me, I in my mind, I made it. I made it as a singer. I'm not Madonna, but I made it in the fact that people forgot about their worries for a couple of hours because I helped do that. So I try to sing a song where everyone sang along, and I did. I accomplished that this last weekend, which was great. But I try to sing some songs at my book signings as well.
Wow, we're going to have to start doing that, Beem. Have all of our authors get out there and sing some songs during their book signings.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So Zaida, do you have any poignant examples of where you got some feedback from a fan about your books? Maybe a review that really stood out to you, or a fan letter, or that you got to meet a fan at an event?
I meet because I also gig. It's fun because I do meet fans that go watch me perform, but they've also bought my books in the past and so forth. But I think the funniest fan exchange that I've ever had, I did a book signing at a library, and like I said, I based my characters off of people I know. And one of the main characters in the book, her name is Alexia, is actually based off of my older sister, Barbara. And I had a book signing at the library, and we were, I spoke about the book. I sang some songs. My sister joined me, and I was signing some books. And one man had asked, "Do you mind if I get Alexia's autograph?" And I was like a little confused, and I was like, and he's looking at my sister, Barbara, and I was like, "Oh, you mean my sister?" He goes, "Yes. And is she really dating like a detective?" And I was like, "No, but she's dating someone. But yeah, go ahead, get her autograph. That's fine." So I found out with the first book that Alexia was more popular than Vi, which is the main character. Which I love that. Like, that does not bother me at all. Actually, it makes me extremely happy. But with this latest book, In the Sea of Dead, I did get an amazing review on Amazon that they pretty much said, "Amazing read, it flowed so well." And for me, that's a big compliment, because my goal is to have the book flow. And the fact that that's what they reviewed it with 5 stars, I was like, yes, this is awesome. So yeah, so that was a big thing for me.
Don't you love it when that really poignant review talks you down off the ledge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next for Zaida Alfaro? Do you have a new book that you're working on? And if so, when can we expect that?
Well, I did start the 3rd one of the series. hopefully I will complete it a lot sooner than I did the second one. So hopefully a year from now. I already have, the outline. I have the who, what, where, and why, and now I just have to fluff it up with dialogue and embellish it a little bit with a couple of murders. So hopefully by next year, the third one will be out.
Cool. So, Zaida, do you have any advice for authors out there, maybe newbies who are just getting started, or those that are looking to maybe try some new directions, or even maybe write a music mystery?
To not give up on yourself. At times it might seem very difficult because, again, you may seem like you're doing everything on your own, but if there comes a moment where you just think to yourself, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I shouldn't continue writing, maybe I should just stop, don't, just look down at your laptop or your notebook or wherever it is you started that story from and realize that you've already started it and you can't go back. You just have to continue moving forward. So my advice is continue to move forward, even if it takes you a little longer than your goal or whatever you anticipated, just keep going.
All right. And now a follow-up to my what's next question. What's next for you on the music scene? Are you still are you working on anything new? Are you still doing gigs now? What's can we expect from the music side?
I'm always composing. I will never stop composing. But I took a break from gigging only because I do want to focus on the release of the second book. I really want to get out there. I want to broaden, I guess, the area. I want to widen or broaden my horizons with the second book. So I'm really focusing on this second release and the series itself. So like the caller, the doctor who called earlier, where she wants to know how I do both at the same time, it comes to the point that I have to realize that I have to stop for a second with the music and kind of focus on the book. That's what I really want to I don't know, I want to break through. I really want to get out there with this second book and be able to finish the third one and just be known for a little while as a mystery author and then a singer. So yeah, that's my focus right now is my book.
Oh,
all right.
Now, we asked you about advice for authors already. How about advice for musicians, budding musicians, or people who are looking to try some new things?
Well, my biggest advice would be to not be naive and make sure you do a lot of research before you trust someone, and jump over that bridge because they told you to. So, again, believe in your skill, believe in your craft, and practice your craft, and make sure that you get as much experience as you can to really go out there and if you had to, do it on your own. I think sometimes it's more effective when you have a lot of practice before you get out there. So.
Fine advice.
Right. Yeah. How can fans, listeners, readers, music listeners, how can they find you? You have a social media, blog, website, Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, so my website is zaidamusic.com. My Instagram and Twitter handle is Zaida Music, and Facebook is also Zaida Music or Zaida Author.
Oh, all right. So our guest has been Zaida Alfaro. I called her a Renaissance woman earlier because she's doing a lot. She's a singer-songwriter. She's a performer. She's a book writer, and she gives cool events where you get to talk about books, get autographs, and hear some songs at the same time. So everybody check out her music, check out her books. That's Zaida Alfaro. We've really enjoyed talking to you, Zaida.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed being on your show, guys. This was a lot of fun. It was exciting.
That's great. Now, listeners, next week we are going to have Dave Hooker from Off the Hook Sports. Earlier, Beem tried to introduce him as Off the Hork Sports, but that's Dave Hooker, Off the Hook Sports, author of Celebrate 98, about the Tennessee Vols football 25th anniversary of their championship season. And who we got after that?
After that, we've got author John Rosenman. I believe, is he a sci-fi guy?
Oh, sci-fi master. Yeah, he's known by Robert G. Williscroft. We're looking forward to having him. And then after that, we're going to John Rosenman, and after that, we're going to have Dana Wayne. We're not real familiar with Dana yet, so we're looking forward to learning more about her and her books. And then what's happening after that, the night before Thanksgiving?
After that, that's leading into pre-Thanksgiving. So this is the day before Thanksgiving. So we're going to have a rerun. We're going to replay Patricia A. Guthrie's most recent guest slot here on The Voice of Indy. And Patricia is always a fantastic guest, so tune in for that one. And after that?
After that, we'll be back live again. So get ready to call in and get on Twitter with Judy White Arts, the author of The Essence of Spiritual Awakening, that we'll be putting out in the next couple of weeks. So we got some exciting guests coming. We got a lot more than that lined up as well. Make sure you come back and subscribe to that newsletter if you don't already, so you can get the links and know what's happening.
Yeah.
Again, Zaida Alfaro was our guest, and Zaida, again, we just had a great time. We were going back and forth while we were listening to your songs, talking about how good they were and what a great guest you are. And we want you to know, as soon as you got something ready to put out, let us know. We'll get it in our newsletter, maybe have you back on the show.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you so much.
All right. So, listeners, we're going to play a couple of ads on our way out. We appreciate all your support and spreading the word. And get over there to YouTube and subscribe to the Fresh Ink Group channel, where all these podcasts are archived, where you can watch a whole bunch of cool book trailers. So, again, thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
A grand epic saga by Robert McKenzie. The Chair series spans centuries, touching the lives of 22 generations of related mothers and daughters, their stories witnessed by a simple pine chair. Resolute, strong, loving, and fiercely protective, these women must strive to pass their values to new generations in a world of racism and sexism, politics, scandal, fashion, even the rise and dominance of baseball. They live in privilege and poverty with faith and despair, relishing every moment of love, even as they suffer abiding grief. Volume 1, Lightning, Thunder, and Glory, spans the 1600s through World War I, while Volume 2, Faith, Hope, and Love, follows these women's descendants into modern times and beyond. In Volume 3, 7, 8, and 9, the Chair flashes back to pre-Civil War America, featuring a woman from the Second Mayflower, her daughter, the black market Irish lace importer, and a Canadian World War I fighter pilot. A blend of history and philosophy told through satire and parody, the story of the Chair could be found in some old trunk in any dusty old attic, but Mackenzie breathes it alive with riveting tales that span the real and the imagined. Proudly published by Fresh Ink Group, the Chair series by Robert McKenzie is available worldwide in jacketed hardcover, softcover, and all ebook editions. Family secrets can be deadly. When Lisa visits her parents one fateful Saturday morning, she hugs her father and takes her suitcase to her childhood bedroom. The doorbell rings, and 1 minute later, her father lies dead on the floor. 3 bullets to the chest. The death of Eric Holmes sends shockwaves throughout the quiet neighborhood. But for the Holmes family, it's devastating. In this fast-paced psychological thriller, Lisa and her brother embark on a quest to solve the mystery of their father's murder. The journey takes them into a secret world where nothing is as it seems. Once the puzzle pieces begin to coalesce, they realize that their father had multiple lives. As the facts unravel, the siblings discover the true meaning of redemption. Gwen M. Plano's Redemption is available worldwide in softcover, jacketed hardcover, and all ebook formats. Published proudly by Fresh Ink Group. Redemption by Gwen M. Plano.
You've been a part of Voice of Indy, a production of Fresh Ink Group. Spread the word, support our guests, then find us at freshinkgroup.com and be sure to hashtag Fresh Ink Group.